We're doing. Oh god, connection just went then. Just getting started. so, um, what I wanted to talk to you lot today was about the importance of a healthy diet with children. Now, I think things have changed over the years. So back in the day when I had or was around young children, it was perfectly acceptable to feed them whatever they wanted without worrying too much about it. And I remember seeing a billboard. I only saw it for maybe a day or two, and then it went. This is back in the mid-80s now. And it said, and I'll never forget it because it struck a chord with me, and it was from that sort of time that I started looking at nutrition. Anyway, this billboard said, "Your child said its first word today, so you gave it a sweet to rot away its teeth." Isn't that powerful? I've never seen it again. I don't know who it was from or where it was by. It was a billboard up in Bolton, and it just struck me as very, very powerful. Your child said its first word today, so you gave it a sweet to rot away its teeth. And that was a defining moment for me. Anyway, so we're all aware of how we should be feeding, particularly toddlers and upwards. But if we start when they're toddlers, of giving them raw carrots and strawberries and oranges and apples and all the healthy food that comes from the ground, or you can pick it from a tree, then that is what we need to be giving them. And obviously as they get a little bit older, they start getting a bit of their own personality, and then they don't want to eat such things. But if you start them at a young age, then what happens is the body starts craving the natural sweeteners, the natural fructose that we get from fruit and vegetables, and that creates more wanting of that rather than artificial sweeteners and refined sugars. And when they do have that, they tend to then find it's too sweet for them and tastes synthetic. So one of the things that we do as a company is, if you are on the capsules that I take, that I regularly post about on my timeline, if you take them, we will fund, half from me and half from the company, we will fund your child getting free fruit and vegetable gummies, and they're absolutely delicious. Right? We use them ourselves, and even little Archie, my assistant's dog, uses them. Excuse me. He takes them and loves them. Goes mad for them. We've taught him to say yes and please for his gummies, and he loves them. Obviously, he doesn't say yes. He nods his head or lifts his lips up to say yes. Anyway, so we will give you these for free for your children. In return, all you do is fill out a questionnaire twice or 3 times a year to say how your child has improved. Now, I've got some figures in front of me on the screen, and I'll just sort of go through these with you. And I will then put them on my timeline so that you can see them for yourself. So what we have found, and we have done this study worldwide, so this is covering hundreds of thousands of children, right? So it's not a study of a few people here or there. This is hundreds of thousands of children from 2, I suppose, whatever age they can start eating solids, so 18 months, 2 years, up to 18 years of age. 60% of those that were taking our gummies had lesser time away from school. So they had fewer days off school than was previous to whatever their attendance rate was, which is 60%. These are good figures. 56% were taking fewer over-the-counter medication. So they didn't need tablets for colds and flu and all the children's sort of stuff that you see that is heavily marketed, because it didn't need it, because their immune system was getting stronger as they were taking these. Excuse me. 71% were drinking more water. Just from taking these gummies, 71% had an increase in their water intake. Now, I try to drink 2 litres a day. If I'm going on for a really big diet, I may try and push it up to 3 litres a day, but you don't really need that. That's a lot. But 2 litres a day, 1.5 litres to 2 litres a day is absolutely spot on, and it's what keeps me looking young. 71% increase in water intake just from taking the gummies. 66% less visits to the doctor. 66% less visits to the doctor. Now, we all know children get ill. They, pick up this and that and the other at school, and, they can constantly be in and out, and then they come home and you get it and all the rest. But on our gummies, 66% fewer visits to the doctor. Their immune system was that strong. Here's a good one now. 71% were consuming less fast food products. They didn't want it. As I've said before, once you start feeding your body, and it's the same with us adults, as you start eating a clean and healthy diet, your body wants more of that clean and healthy. You give it crap, it wants more of the same. It becomes very quickly adjusted to one thing or the other. Excuse me. But on these children, 71% wanted less McDonald's visits or whatever. That is a huge number. 71%. And finally, the last figure I've got in front of me, 61% were eating more fruit and veg. So not only were they taking the gummies, which have the phytonutrients of fruit and veg in it, they were actually physically eating more fruit and veg because of that, as I've already said, that desire, that craving to eat more healthy food. So it's huge. We'll pay for this. It doesn't cost you anything. We will pay for this. I'll pay for half of it, and my company will pay for the other half. And you get it for free. So if you're interested in getting on this, they call it the Child Health Study. If you're interested in getting on this, send me a private message and I'll give you the details about how to get you onto the capsules to improve your health, and, as we've just talked about, getting your children on these as well, because it's so important that they're taking in the correct nutrition. There are already so many studies about how cod liver oil, for example, can improve a child's ability to focus in the classroom. And if they've got autistic tendencies, or if they're on the autistic spectrum, then, it can help with that as well. So fruit and veg does the same thing. It will increase the beneficial benefits to their mental health and their brain capacity to function better in the classroom. Now, as an ex-teacher, ex-lecturer who taught 16 plus, I can tell you that the kids who were on a crap diet, you could see, because you know, they're covered in acne, the hair's greasy, etc. And they'd come in the morning, they were unable to function because they hadn't had a breakfast, generally. They'd go away for lunch, come back, and then they'd be hyper in the afternoon for the first hour after lunch. They were manic. You couldn't control them because they'd had a lot of sugar, donuts, sweets, energy drinks with sugars and artificial this, that and the other in. And they couldn't control them. Getting them to sit down and focus on a piece of work was near impossible. So by changing a child's diet at an early age, getting them on some good products, getting them eating some healthy food, not only is it good for them physically and they'll develop at a correct rate, but it's good in the other skills where they're communicating with their pals and in the classroom and all this. So message me if you're interested and I'll give you all the information, but I'll put these figures now on my screen as soon as I've finished here. So until tomorrow, I'll speak to you then. Bye.